Lazarus, well, you know me by now. Never, ever happier than when I am receiving old friends in this theater, in this venue. And one of the souls I most love and respect at my core, I have to say, and this goes back a pretty long time, is our guest today, Santos Bonacci. And it occurred to me that Santos was on a broadcast that we did in 2014. Actually, we were launching formally launching the New Earth Project, and Santos came in when we were exploring the concept of ZPT, 0 point time, and we had, as I seem to recall, we had Nassim Harriman on. Foster Gamble, my beloved friend, and my other beloved friend, Michael Tellinger, and Santos. And that was, for me, a very important start point, really, to the somewhat mythic journey that I feel exists between my walk in this world and the walk that I observe in Santos, which is inexpressibly complicated walk. It's part messianic, it's part prophet, it's part forensic analyst of the geometry of truth, but turning that outwardly through the lens into the temporal world, his ability to dissect events, relationships, soul signatures, event horizons, and make sense of the insane geometry of the temporal field. So to those of you who are tuned in to the Lazarus narrative, the Nazarus, the soul of Lazarus initiative, and what we've been not just endeavoring, but manifesting for many years now, it's our 5th year, you will know this language speaks to you. Santos is, to those of you, those few of you who may not fully know, is the world-leading researcher and speaker on the veiled power structures that shape our reality. And he exposes how Rome, ancient empires, and modern corporations covertly control nations, laws, and by extension, our consciousness. So through symbols and cycles and sacred knowledge, and revealing the secret pathways to sovereignty and true freedom. And today, with this maestro, we are revealing the hidden forces shaping our world. And Santos will be showing how Rome's empire never fell, how modern nations are bound by secret codes, and how law, religion, and symbols work together to control consciousness. And we'll trace the threads of cosmic cycles, sacred geometry, and occult architecture, uncovering the unseen networks that influence governments and finance and even our sense of identity. So strap in. Santos is taking us on a mind-bending journey through history, esoteric law, and the hidden design of reality itself, illuminating the pathways to true sovereignty and freedom. And this is the chance, friends, to see the world in a completely new light and to question everything you thought was real and to step into a deeper understanding of who we truly are. Santos, brother, so happy to see you again.
Thanks, Sasha, and thank you for the kind welcome and the opportunity to be able to share with you, whom I have worked with for 11 years now. We've done, this is the eighth thing that we're doing together. So, yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. So straight in, Rome's hidden continuity. Rome is said to never have fallen, but simply transformed. How do we see its presence today, whether in legal systems, corporate structures, or even the shared symbols on national flags, like Mexico's, for instance?
Beautiful. Good question. I will endeavor to do my best to put some understanding and meaning into it all. But first, I'd like to talk about the subject of time, because if we don't understand time and how it works, none of what I say will mean anything. Okay, so first of all, there is no past and there is no future. Time is a construct, a conception from our feeble minds, which we need to be able to measure the change in the eternal now.
Yes.
But here's the thing. When we went to school, we were taught that time is linear. 2,000 years ago, there was a guy called Jesus, and we're here now, and tomorrow will be in that direction. It's going in a direction, okay?
Right.
Linear. This is all wrong. This is to tie us down to be slaves of time, actually, and that's why people are wearing watches, which is quite insane. I mean, you can get it off your phone, but still, people like to think that having a Rolex watch is a status symbol. But it's just shows how much money you'll spend to be a slave of Chronos, Saturn, Satan, time. So here's the big one. It's cyclical. And you know how we have, obviously, years and days? They are the two obvious cycles. So we know that spring comes around every March, and we know that the sun rises in the morning. So we can already see cycles, okay? But the main big cycle that we live in is 1,000 years. History rhymes, not repeats, every 1,000 years. So if you go to the East, Krishna says, I'm the one that creates history every 1,000 years. I repeat history every 1,000 years. I do that. You go to the Bible. The Bible says, to the Lord, 1,000 years is as a day, and a day is as 1,000 years. That's in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, it says, if you be good and you prevail over the world, you will rule with Christ as kings and priests. The Egyptians, the Babylonians, they all had this 1,000-year thing.
Right.
So, okay, so that's scripture. And people might say, well, I'm not into scripture. So for me, and if not, you can ask me to repeat. So where do we find on paper, where can we actually go to our computer and find evidence of history repeating every 1,000 years? Right, well, because I can't share my screen, I've given your producer what's called the list of popes. All right. Now, all the listeners, you go to Wikipedia. Now, Sasha is sharing the screen. Thank you. And we're going to have a look. There's 2,000 years of history, but you're going to find that the first 1,000 years is different to the last 1,000 years. So can you please scroll down to the first Pope, St. Peter? There he is. Now, notice those first 4 or 5 popes. Do they have any surnames? Look at the name. See where it says their name? Okay, we're going to be looking at that line, okay, the third column. Peter has no surname. Linus has no surname. Cletus, Clement. Let's keep going down to, we're going to go all the way to 1,000 years, but go nice and slow so that the viewers can see. Name in English, no surnames. Keep going and you'll see that there are no surnames. All right, we're up to the year 200. We don't have to go too fast. That's good. That's you can go a little bit faster if you want, because people can do this on their own time. No surnames. We're up to what, the year coming to 300. Still no surnames. All right, keep scrolling, keep going. Eusebius, oh, he was a good one. He was Constantine's buddy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No surnames. The year 400. Okay, so we've done 400 years. Let's keep going.
Keep going quickly. Yeah, and we're making our way towards 1066, presumably, thereabouts.
Yeah, I want to just go just in the 900th year. That's where we want to go. You might as well just go straight down there because there's no surnames. I can guarantee you that. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, stop a little bit. You've got to go now to the fourth column. The fourth column is the name. Now they've started. Yeah, that's it. All right. No surnames. Let's keep going. It's the fourth column now, the fifth.
Right. Oh, got it.
Yep. Boniface, Romanus, Leo, Sergius, Joannes, Leo again, Octavio. Oh, stop there. Let's go back. We're in the 900s. Just go back a little bit. Stop. No, there's Ferrucci. One more. Go back a little bit. There's one more guy. Stop there. That's it. Okay, so there's the year. In the second column, you'll see the 3rd of February, 929. And here we have a guy who has a surname, Stephanus de Gabrieli. Okay? Now, I promise you this, Sasha, and all the listeners, to do this interview, the first thing I did was, well, I'm going to show people how history is rhyming every 1,000 years. And I'm going to prove to people that there was not one pope before the year 1000 that had a surname. All of a sudden, it's changed. They've added a few surnames. Now, I think they've done that just to sort of blend in the fact that for 1,000 years, no one had surnames. And then all of a sudden, bang on, the 1,000 years, everybody has a surname. So just keep scrolling there. We've got, let's count how many people have surnames. So we've got that guy there, Gabrielli, keep going. 1. Crescenzi, 2. Ferrucci, 3. Caneprova, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. No, stop there. Stop. That's 1,003. Okay. So we have 7 guys with surnames. And they all happen to be right at the end of 1,000 years. So if you want a paper track record to confirm that history is just going round and round in 1,000-year cycles, there it is right there. Now, I don't know whether you know about Anatoly Fomenko.
No.
Okay. Anatoly Fomenko, like Emmanuel Velikovsky, which I was reading as a teenager.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, great man. And he wrote a treatise on how there's 600 years of history missing. When you compare biblical history with secular history, there's absolutely at least 600 years. He said there's at least 600 years. Now, 50 years later, another Russian, Anatoly Fomenko, releases 12 volumes proving that in the 1800s, the Jesuits removed 1,000 years of history.
Got it.
Right. Now, I bought the first 2 volumes back in 2011, 2012. I didn't read them, but I glanced them and took notes and made enough notes to work out what his 12 volumes were going to be speaking about. Okay, so the Jesuits, only a couple of hundred years ago, they removed 1,000 years of histories. Now, the reason they can do that is because the same characters turn up. I hope I get time to prove that. I really do.
Oh, for sure, you got the time. But I want to ask you this: what dateline would you give for this happening in the late 1700s, mid to late 1700s?
Yeah, around the French Revolution.
So that's late 1799.
Yeah, when the Illuminati or the Alumbrados started to use Freemasonry as their foot soldiers.
Right.
The Freemasons,
Yeah.
the upper echelons, not your good Freemasons that. Because I teach Freemasonry, it's in all my presentations. It's Christianity.
Yeah.
It's the same as Judaism, Muslim,
Yes.
Islam. I teach all of it because it's all one.
Yeah.
So what happened, Sasha, is that they didn't have to really remove the 1,000 years history. All they had to do was just show that this guy turns up in history, and then there's a linear succession of his children in his dynasty and so on, and here we are now. Right. So
informed history, not experiential history, informed history.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that, because what I want to say, I want to preface what I'm going to start doing here is that I'm going to use the timeline that we both learned at school. We were both indoctrinated and educated, and we're going to use the AD BCE calendar. Okay, so let's do 4,000 years of history on a timeline like this, right? Now we're over here, right, to 2025, and over here is 0 for some reason, and they put JC there. Now, you might think it's Jesus Christ, but it's actually Julius Caesar, the Julian calendar.
Yes.
Another name for it is the AD calendar, Anno Domini, well, the year of the Lord.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is it's not Jesus' calendar, because Jesus is not a historical person. In the sense that, I mean, like you will find references in history, right? But that doesn't mean he was necessarily a historical, literal individual. Okay, so now this calendar, there's 1,000 years. Here's 1,000 years, and so we've got 4,000 years. This is Abraham over here. This is King David. Can you see all this?
Yep.
And over here we have the likes of Charlemagne, but it's probably more over here. But the Holy Roman Empire sort of started here, and that's why all of a sudden you see we've got surnames for 1,000 years. Yes. So were these names wiped out, or were people not using surnames? Because when I went to school, they said that since time immemorial, everyone had a surname. So this John wouldn't be confused with that John and the other John. You know, John the carpenter, John the right. Now, it's interesting. Why don't we go like the Jews do? They have a calendar called the AM calendar. It's the Anno Mundi. We have the Anno Domini, the year of Domini, the year of the Lord. Now their calendar, I think we're up to 6,777 or something is the year in the Anno, the AM calendar. Okay. Right. So why don't we do that? Why doesn't the Christian bloc, Christendom, why do they have this guy here and this is the year 0? Why? Well, the reason being, it's quite simple. This is an exact mirror of this.
Yes. It's
an exact mirror. This year is actually the year 0. It is. But it's useless. It's pointless to say it was 2,000 years or 1,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. You hear people saying, oh, this earth has been controlled by the Anunnaki for 200,000 years. How do you know that? And then there's others that insist, no, the earth has been controlled by the archons for 6,000 years. And then there's the Tartarians who say, no, it was in the 1850s. The reset was only in the 1850s. So everybody's like all over the place. It's pointless. There's no argument.
Yeah.
If you know that time is not linear and we're just going round in circles, but spiraling upwards,
yes,
then we don't have to argue these things. But
very good.
Let me just show you something very interesting. So this guy, Julius Caesar, and by the way, there's a guy called Francesco Carlotta. Francesco Carlotta. Now, this guy absolutely proves and smashes that Julius Caesar was Jesus Christ.
Right.
And he's got books and videos. You can see it. Another guy is Joseph Atwill. But Joseph Atwill, he says that it was Vespasian and and Vespasian, who killed Vitellius and destroyed the Julian line. He started the Claudian. So now we have the Julio-Claudians. And that only happened 70 years after Julius Caesar. Now, when did Julius Caesar die? The year 44 BCE, right? And when did the other JC die? 33.
33, yeah.
AD. So we can see a mirror there. They're both claiming to have a calendar, and which is a cylinder. Calendar means cylinder. Why would it be a cylinder? Well, because a cylinder goes round and round and round and round.
Very good.
Okay. So now here we have Alexander the Great, and he died 334 or something like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. Now, Julian the Emperor, the nephew of Constantine the Great, who started corporate Christianity, because Rome was Persian Mithraic for 1,000 years.
That's right.
I'm going to explain this, how the Persians conquered Rome and made Rome to defeat Greece from the back. They went behind Greece, founded Rome, and it's the Persians. It's still the Persians.
Very good.
It's Iran. It's always Iran.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so there's one mirror, and they both claim to have a calendar. Now, Alexander the Great, he dies 334 years before here, and Julian the Emperor, who says that he was of Greek blood, and he was the incarnation of Alexander the Great, who stopped corporate Christianity in its tracks and brought back the ancient Egyptian religion. Hence, they called him Julian the Apostate. But in my opinion, he was the greatest Neoplatonist of all time. He loved Iamblichus, Porphyry, Plotinus. Yeah. And he wrote a book against the Galileans, and he said, these mischievous people who have made this Christ figure actually historical, he exposed them. Just 300 years, he died in 363, 334 or 333, 363. Can you see the mirror? There's Julius Caesar, who was the hero of the popular people.
Yes.
And here's Jesus Christ, the hero of the popular people. And here's Alexander the Great. And here's the greatest emperor in the history of Rome, because he brought back the pagan Egyptian, pagan, which means, folk. Right? So it really irritates me when people say, oh, that's pagan. Pagan simply means folk. So if
means good people, good human.
Yeah. So if I play folk music, I'm a pagan because I didn't go to the conservatory.
Right.
You see,
right.
you go to a seminary and you're good. But the people who still worship God or worship the gods and their ancestors who don't go to seminary, they're pagans.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they believe the same thing, right? It's ridiculous. So now I'm just going to stop there because I want to see how we go with time. But I'm going to show you all the way to today how
good.
Everything that happened here is mirrored over here.
Yes.
I can give you tens and tens and tens of examples. That's just two glaringly obvious ones, okay? So, all right, we've all done our history at school, and I don't believe in this timeline at all, but I'm using it because professors out there, students of history, and most of the listeners will relate to it, okay? So we know that the Greeks were fighting the Persians. Now, the Persians controlled the Silk Road for thousands of years. They are the first root race. If you go by the, Helena Blavatsky and Annie Besant,
yes.
and all those,
and Leadbeater, yeah.
Yeah, and even Steiner, right? You will learn that there's 5 root races, and we are the last one. We're the Aryans, okay? And we were created 200,000 years ago. The Aryan race. A million years ago. A million. So the first were the Polarians, then the Hyperboreans, then the Lemurians, then the Atlanteans. That fell, and then came the Aryans. So we're all Aryans. We are all Aryans.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right. So, those are the 5 root races. There's going to be 7 eventually. Now, in each root race, there are 7 sub races. Okay, so in the Aryan, the first were the Indians to be created, India and Persia.
Yep.
I'll put it here. Right, so now, that was 1 million years ago, 1 million years ago, 800 million years ago, 200,000 years after that was Egypt.
Sorry, you mean 800,000 years ago, not 800 million years ago?
Sorry, of course, 800,000 years ago, because this race is only a million years old. Yeah. Okay, but remember, there's only the eternal now.
Yeah.
What we mean is that there's been a million thousand year cycles. That's all I'm saying. And you will understand that hopefully if I've triggered enough,
real memory.
Yeah, research inspiration in people to really do their work. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so Egypt and Mayans. Now, we all know that the Mayans are the same as the Egyptians.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Correct.
Okay, 800. Then after that came the Semitic. So you've got your Arabics, you've got your Jewish.
Yep.
All right. Now, this is 600,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And thanks for correcting me before. I often do word slips because I'm thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Then came the Celtic, 400,000 years ago, and the Latins. That's you and me, brother. Yep. We're 400,000 years old, but there is no time. Latin. And the last were the Nordics, and the Germanics. This is why Hitler was very, very concerned with protecting the Aryan race.
That's right. The blonde, blue eyes. Yeah.
And now the 6th, guess what? They're going to mix everybody together and make just brown people. No more white, no more black, that is what the elites are trying to do. That is their goal. They want to create. They're trying to get this. They're trying to get rid of this, and they're trying to create a sixth sub-root race of the Aryans, which is all homogenized, just brown. Okay, but
Yes.
they're doing it in an illegal way, with the transhuman agenda and graphene oxide and putting you into a grid and getting your data and your DNA.
Yeah, it's the synthetic chemicalized aspect.
Right. Now, for guys like you and I who have detached ourselves from the world, that we're going to go into this the natural way. We're not going to be trapped in their system. Okay, so what happened was, let's go back to Persia, because these are the guys that we need to focus on. So what happened was the Persians, they controlled the Silk Road, and the elites, the elite Persian families, which were Zoroastrian and Mithraic, made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what they wanted to do was they wanted to reach the Americas through Europe, but Greece was stopping them for 500 years. The Battle of Marathon, the battle of Thermopylae, the battles, all the battles, right? They managed to destroy Athens partially once. I think it was 400 BCE, but the Greeks always pushed them back and protected Europe. So that was their obstacle. So what did they do? So they planted themselves in modern day Turkey and created the Parthians. And
Yes.
by the way, Julian the Emperor was still fighting them. He was murdered. He was warring against the Parthians, the Persians. The Greeks were fighting since here, 500 BCE, all the way through here, and there's another guy called Valerian, who was actually murdered by the Persians, brought to their capital, and I think they boiled him or something or whatever. It was the first time ever a Roman emperor was captured in battle. But Julian was shot by his own Christian soldiers fighting the Parthians, i.e. the Persians. So the Persians figured, all right, we just can't, we know we can't beat the Greeks. They've got technology that's so advanced. So what do we do? Well, if you study the work of a beautiful woman whom I've been studying for 15 years, a woman called Lauren Moray.
I know Lauren Moray, yes. Yeah, of course.
She's a darling.
Yeah.
And she will tell you all about how this happened. I'm just going to repeat what she taught me, right?
Yeah.
So let's get out of here. I'll try and do this timeline again because it's going to be a bit messy. What happened was, so we've got good old Italy over here. Sardinia, Corsica, and over here you've got Greece, and there's Turkey. Okay, so Parthia. All right, so what happened was, according to Lauren Moray, these rich, mega rich families, they couldn't. Greece was just too powerful and protecting the West for 1,000 years, really. So what they did was they started the Etruscan Empire in Tuscany, and they started 12 cities. These families, 12. Then they destroyed this, inverted the language, and went to Lazio, Rome. And they made a republic here, right? And then they turned it, when Julius Caesar came, they turned it into an empire. The Roman Republic became an empire. The reason for that was because now these guys don't have to fight on this front. They've got a back door.
Right.
And so we know that Julius Caesar defeated the English, the French, the Germans, the Iberian Peninsula, Africa, and he also destroyed the Greeks with Pompey. Pompey was defending Greece, right? Pompey. So he killed Pompey. So Julius Caesar was everywhere, killing and destroying and everything. And essentially, he was part of this Persian conspiracy to remove Greece, set up the Roman Empire, all roads lead to Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and their red, white, and green flag,
Yes.
which is horizontal,
Yes.
became the red, white, and green flag of Italy. I forget which side the red is on, but it doesn't matter. This is very important, guys. This is very important.
Yeah, this was the piece that got me so excited about talking to you again when you were correlating these flags. This changes the axis of everyone's knowledge or understanding of history and culture.
Yeah. So what Loren speaks about is how, I'm going to name some of the families like the Farnese, the Borgia, the Pallavicini, and Aldobrandini. Those are the four big ones. I'll get to them and I'll decipher and I'll explain how and the de Medicis, by the way, the Medicis, okay? Because remember, the Persian Empire was the Medes and the Persians, right?
Yeah.
It was the Medo-Persian Empire, like the Greco-Roman Empire, right?
That's right. That's right.
Right. Okay. So there's the word that's where the Medicis come from, and they control the media and medicine, big pharma. Because we know guys like Cosimo de' Medici, he actually helped translate the Hermetica and Plato and did many great things. He was a benefactor of Tommaso Castanella, I think Giordano Bruno, and many great Neoplatonists. All right, so it's not good or bad. None of this is good or bad. This is just explaining how things work.
Very good.
So the Tuscans had their language inverted, and according to her, then the Latin language was this language which creates the law, the maritime law of the Venetians or the Phoenicians, phonetics. The Phoenicians are over here and the Genovese are over here. We're going to get back to these two cities, because when Rome supposedly was conquered by the Huns and the Visigoths and the Vandals, time and time again, what happened was they went to Emilia-Romagna, and for 150 years, they were here. Before they went to Venice, they were in Ravenna. So the capital of the Roman Empire was in Emilia-Romagna, Ravenna. And then from there, they went to the maritime Venice, because Venice is not a part of Italy. It's an island, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so these guys, they're fighting each other. And on this side here, certain families supported this side. So the Venetians got clever and they said, well, why don't we control all the ports going east? And that's what they did. They controlled Greece, all the ports, all the way over to China. Now, the Genovese, their big family was the Columbus family, Colonna.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And let me do that, because this is where we get into the. So in Jewish, it's Cohen. Cohen becomes, in English, Colin, which is the most powerful family in America.
In Europe. Yep.
Forget about the Rothschilds. These guys, in fact, do you remember John Todd? John Todd,
Yes.
when
he was a whistleblower.
Yeah, and then he disappeared. Well, he explained that the true rulers of America are the Columbus Collins family, right? Because Christopher Columbus was Cristobal Colon with an O. So
I would love it if you could intersect where the Payzur family of the Marie Antoinette and young Louis, is that connected in there somewhere between the Collins and the Rothschilds? The Payzur?
Yeah, they're all intermarried, because you see what these cities had was what's called Ifondi. Do you know about Ifondi? The funds. So what they did was to create the Doge of Venice and the Council of Venice. They ruled the world and all the seaports. So they didn't have to go. When there was I think it was 1508, France, Italy, Germany, the Papal State, they all started a war against Venice because they were sick of Venice.
Yeah.
Controlling all the commerce and doing all their black nobility evil, right? So they all ganged up on Venice, but Venice somehow beat them, you know? So what happened was these guys, the Genova, and by the way, that's where we get the jeans. Anyone who's wearing blue jeans comes from Genova. It's a textile. They created denim, and they sold it mostly to the Americans.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so the Americans would say, "Oh, we want denim from Genova, the jeans."
Wow.
And it became jeans. Okay.
Wow.
So these guys, they went west. They got Columbus, so-called Columbus. It's really a corporation. That's why we have the Knights of Columbus. We have Columbia Pictures, British Columbia, Columbia in South America.
Columbine school shooting.
Exactly. The list goes on and on and on and on. Columbia, English.
And Columbus is the column that holds up the temple roof?
Exactly. And their insignia was a column.
Yes, there we go.
A Greek column, which means unity and we rule the world. Anyway, these guys were fighting against another powerful papal family who were more on the side of the Venetians, which are the Orsini.
That's right.
And these guys were killing, I don't know how many Orsinis in the 1500s. And these guys were killing columnists just to try and be archbishops, cardinals, and popes. And we're gonna see that in the list of popes, that you'll see that there's about about 3 or 4 colonna. I'll do it properly.
So that should have been the real Game of Thrones series, shouldn't it? The story.
Yeah, a bit like the Ghibellines and the Guelphs. You know, there's always these two families that are killing each other to have the power, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of those people that were killed were good people, good-hearted people, because I can give you a list of at least 20 popes that were really, really good benefactors to humanity. That they're not all evil, you know.
Yeah.
Right. So their symbol was the column. Okay, colonna. It's a column, and it's all the same thing. The most powerful family. It's actually a woman. It's a woman who controls the Collins family and the US of A. It's never men. It's actually women, witches who have the most power, not men.
Yes.
They send the men out to go and fight wars and die. Men are not ruling behind the scenes. It's women. All right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That old yarn about it being a deviant patriarchy. I was having this conversation with Jane Evershed, who's one of our regulars on Lazarus, and she's actually going to be on this next symposium as well. The whole narrative generally is that it is a venal patriarchy, and I was arguing the fact that no, at the quintessence, you will always find, and for millions of years, in terms of the galactic wars, same deal. It is a feminine principle at the center of all of it.
Yeah,
It
they are
makes
the
it up.
mother.
Yeah.
No women, no men.
Yeah.
We come from men. We come from their vesicopieces, right? Their
Yes.
womb. They
Yes.
are the womb, so they are the boss.
Mm.
It has to be that way, man. But in many thousand years cycles in the past that haven't been reset and co-opted,
Yes. Yeah.
matriarchy was perfectly the perfect system, and there
Yes.
were no witches. But now we have witches. They've turned into witches. Why? Because the archons want it that way.
Yes.
We're living in a time which is called the quickening. You know how they're saying that the earth is spinning faster and time's going faster because the earth's spinning faster?
Yes.
Well, that's not true, because it's consciousness that's going fast. It's not time.
Very good. Beautiful. The spin, the rate of spin is increasing.
That's what they say, right? But and so time's going faster, but it's not. It's consciousness. It's the awakening. It's called the quickening. The quickening is happening.
Very good. Very good.
And so everybody's going to be involved with this. You would be surprised that how many people, evil people that you thought should be, guillotined or hanging on a noose under a tree. You'll be surprised how they will repent and how everybody will repent, because we've all got skeletons in our closets. There's no one that's pure and that can say, oh yes, well I'm just blameless. No, it's not going to happen. So we might say, oh yeah, but I don't kill babies and eat their adrenochrome and have orgies and I don't do that evil. But you're still part of it, because they are you and you are them.
And because you're abnegating and abdicating your life force to Cronus, and that is you being fully complicit in that harvest wheel.
Yeah, we're all co-creators. So what we should be doing, instead of hating these people, is sending them love, because they're actually doing what we call evil things, and it excludes us, which is they're taking the punishment for us. We shouldn't be angry.
I hear what you're saying. Whilst they are manifesting as the contrast against which we are therefore able to define our angelic nature and elevate ourselves, without which we wouldn't be able to in that sense.
It's all for us. It's all for you.
Yeah. Reciprocal. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
beautiful.
So if you want to see a paradise around you in the world, the secret is this: fix the shit that's in you. Get rid of all the shit that's in you. And that means me.
Well, even me, Santos?
Yeah. Sorry. So, yeah. So everybody that's listening,
right.
you are going to change the world. Don't wait for Harry or Bob around,
yeah.
Around
this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Santos.
So what happened was they had Ifondi, which is the money, the funds. And here's something that we have to distinguish. What they did was, these guys here, now in Italy, which is Persia, because there's no such thing as an Italian race. I mean, I'm from southern Italy, and my blood is Grecian, Phoenician, Jewish, and African.
Yes.
But if you go up here, you've been to northern Italy, to Milan, haven't you?
Yes.
Blue-eyed, Nordic, Celtic.
Yep.
And that's Italy. So you've got blonde, blue-eyed people here, and I come from here in Calabria, Catanzaro, and Africa's over here, and of course the Greeks from Naples down. The Greeks owned all of this, and then the Spanish and the Portuguese in the two Sicilies, when they conquered Sicily and Calabria, they called it the Two Sicilies. So what's an Italian? Is it a short?
Yes.
Is it a short, skinny 5 foot, a 5'6" black guy like me, or is it the
Yes.
blue, blonde, tall, blue 6 foot guys up here in North Italy? It's all Persian.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened was the Genovese, and remember, what's the biggest crime family in New York, in America? The Genovese, right?
Genovese.
Yeah. And wasn't that the best general friend of Mussolini?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So what Mussolini did was what they all did, because history rhymes. He sent this Genovese family. Well, he didn't have to send them. And they still pretty much control all the drugs and all the violence and all the crime in the United States of America. The Genovese from Genova, right?
Yes.
So not only did they do it with their jeans and denim blue jeans, because Americans are the most blue jean wearing nation on the earth, right? But they did it with guns and military force and everything like that. And they did it with their funds, their trusts. They created a trust like the Sestwi KV Trust and everything like that. Now, originally, the good people of these families did it for our benefits, to be stewards.
Yes.
Like it says in the Bible, Jesus said, I will go away and I will leave you as the steward. And you better look after my people, because if I come back and you haven't looked after my people, I will beat
There
you.
we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll kick your ass. So obviously, somewhere along the line, that some non-benefactor type people, self-serving,
The parasite. The parasite.
the parasites got in and started managing these funds to do crime and to make money and to get rich.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the aristocracy became the oligarchy. See,
And of course, Santon as well, maintaining that significant factor that both government is crime cartel and the subterranean mafia are crime cartel, and the good folk, the good pagans, are caught in between that somewhere, being fleeced and harvested.
Yeah. Now, you might be asking, why these colors? There has to be a reason. There has to be. And the reason is because green is Islam, white is Christianity, and red is Judaism, the three Abrahamic religions, which originated in Persia.
Yes. Now you begin to hit it.
Right. But we're going to go to the question as to why France, Great Britain, and the USA have red, white, and blue. We'll get to that. So red, as in Rothschild. Roth means red. Okay, so we know they're Jewish, or Ashkenazi, Khazarian, or whatever.
Crypto Jewish.
Right, crypto. So it all originated in Persia. Islam, Christianity, which was Mithraism, and Zoroastrianism, and Judaism, it still is very, very strong in Persia. People don't know this. Iran is Christian, Muslim, and Jewish. People don't realize that, because ostensibly they've created an Islamic society.
Right.
But there's millions of Christians and Jews in Iran.
Yes, that's right. Always.
And they created it. So when they came over to Tuscany and Rome and in the Republic days, it was Mithras. It was Mithraic. Rome was all Mithraic. Mithras. And by the way, Mithras had 12 disciples. He resurrected the dead. Same dude as Jesus. Yeah. So Constantine comes along and says, I'll make a council, the Council of Nicaea, and I'll get my buddy Eusebius and perhaps Augustine of Hippo, and we'll make our own Mithras, and we'll call him, Jesus Christ. This is actually an invention. Francesco Carotto explains this. It's all invented. It's all fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what they did was they just flipped over Mithraism and said, oh, it's Christianity. And by the way, Christianity is not a new religion. It never has been. It is the universal religion. It's been forever.
Very good.
Since forever, because Christianity means consciousness. That's what it means. So we've got Italy. Why does the Pope wear a yarmulke? Well, because they're not Christian. They are, but they're also Jews, and they're also and I think it's about a third of the cardinals have converted to Islam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know Leo Zagami?
Very well. Very dear friend.
Yeah. He taught me that.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you a story about how many people from the Rothschilds, the House of Savoy that I know that have contacted me because of the work that I do about this, all of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a few really, really good stories, which I got firsthand. So if I ever doubted that what I was learning was true or not, was confirmed by all people from those very families, Pallavicinis. I've been contacted by all of them. They all talk to me, write to me, and tell me, yeah, what you're saying is true and more. Right? I'm going to tell you some stories if I get some time. Right. So now why does France and England and the USA flip that over and turn this into red, white, and blue?
Yes.
Well, you've heard about the Blue Lodge.
Yeah.
Freemasonry. France and England control Freemasonry. And they brought it to England, the 22 black nobility families, and created 13 alumbrados or Illuminati families in the USA.
Yes.
The Knights of Columbus. Okay. Now, so people always talk about the 13 families, and know nothing about the 22 black nobility families, which are way more, I don't know whether they're more powerful, but they're more historical. So what happened was they chose 13 of the 22 families, and they said, let's go over and kill all the pagans there. I think 160 million indigenous Americans were murdered, and then they planted the Christian flag there.
Yeah.
And they started what's called 13 companies, which then became 13 colonies, which then became the 13 original states. Yeah. 13, you see it on the American flag, the eagle with the 13 arrows, the 13 this, the 13 that. Okay. That's telling you that 13 of the black nobility families are now called Illuminati families, and they rule the Americas. And those 13 original companies which became colonies, which became states, are still owned by these families.
Yes.
And mostly by the Columbus family, which is a corporation. Now, the Pallavicini, let's do some of the names now, because I think I can always scrub this out and go back to points that I've missed out, okay? Because it's getting very messy. And you know me, I really don't like to do presentations that are boring. I like to have everything I say to be something of value and to give people some knowledge to go away with. I just can't stand just even listening to interviews where people take an hour to just talk about one thing, which is boring, right? So I'm trying to get as much as possible in. It makes me nervous, but yeah. So let's have a look at some of the names. We already did the Collins family, okay? Cohen, Colonna, etc. Another family which is very, very important. I'm going to do the four most important ones, right? So, which came from Persia. Pallavicini, Aldobrandini, Medici. I won't do this guy because I already showed you how the De Medicis control the media and medicine. Aldobrandini, Pallavicini, Farnese. Farnese and anyway, there's another one. But so, can you see the word Allah here?
Yeah.
And do you know what vicini means in Italian? Vicino. Look at it. Look at it clearly in English. Look at this word in English. What does it look like?
Vicinity, location.
Yeah. So P means from Allah or
From
belonging to Allah and close to Allah.
this place. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Pallavicinis, remember, they funded Queen Elizabeth I against the Spanish Armada. These guys have got money, they're loaded. They also are involved in the conquest of the Americas with the Borgia family. Basically, these are the two families that created the Jesuits. The Farnese, Pope Alexander the Third, who was called Alessandro Farnese, with Borgia. Now, you know who Borgia is, don't you?
Borgia.
Yeah, the Borgia.
Cesar, Jesus Christ, the false light Christ.
Yeah. All the images you have of Jesus is from this guy. Now, this guy
good looking guy, good looking man.
Yeah, why not? So this guy became Pope Alexander VI, and he wrote the papal bull, which gave permission to the conquistadors to take over the Americas, the Borgias.
Yes, there's doctrines of discovery.
Yeah, and so what they did was they brought their Roman flag and they planted it right in the middle of the Americas, and it's the Mexican flag, red, white, and blue.
Same flag. Yeah. Same insignia. And same colors.
Exactly. And they bought what happened was the Spanish Inquisition came to Mexico. The Mexican Inquisition was worse than anything that happened in Europe. They murdered Mayans and Aztecs and Chichimecas and Zapotecas.
Yeah.
So now Mexico thinks it's Catholic. Oh, we're proud Christian Catholics. Well, everywhere I go, here, they're speaking Tzotzil, Zapoteca. They're not speaking Spanish here, and they don't know who Jesus is. They know who the original virgin was. That's been here for millions of years. That's not Catholic. That's the Virgin of Guadalupe. Her name is Tonantzin. You know,
which is also the labia minora, labia majora, and the clitoris, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's do that, shall we? First of all, you'll notice red shift, blue shift coming from the black horns. See the black horns of the torus field?
Yeah.
And the white. So the black and white yin and yang produces the subset of red and blue, which then becomes centered in the green heart chakra. And there's the clitoris, and that's the vagina, and that's the portal. And there are 32 rays going around here, and they are golden rays, and this is all just science. This is not a god. This is not a goddess. Well, it is, right. But it's not just an image. This is science.
Yes,
that's the Vesica Pisces. There's a little clitoris right there.
That's a mythic totem, bringing us all back to the mother.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Let's try and wrap this into closing.
Okay.
Commentary.
Well, you help me wind it up. What do you want to know? How do you want to wind it up?
Well, we've basically taken what I wanted to contextualize, the archaeohistorical piece. You've addressed the corrected timelines, history timelines. You've corrected the entire notion of time anyway, and you've negated it as being an A to Z axis. It never was that. It can never be that. but mind fucking humanity, psycho-civilizationally, incarnation after incarnation after incarnation, into believing that it is an A to Z vector, is how we have surrendered our capacity for quantum superluminal status as angelics, and we have abnegated that life force which has been harvested by Kronos, the archonic forces, and that created a feedback loop where we have literally, through bad dreaming, manifested Jehovah, Yahweh, and all the rest of the spooky shit, which eats us, parasites off us, but is actually serving us. It is the devil serving God's design.
Yeah. Everything is serving you. Everything. And I mean you. And when I mean you, you are me. And when I mean me, it's everyone else that's listening. We're all from the same source. What you see that is ugly in me is ugly in you. What you see that
Yes.
is beautiful in me is beautiful in you.
Slow that down. Slow that down. Thou shalt not judge. So whenever we do judge, we're bearing false witness. We are judging. We are condemning. We are manifesting in the field architecture the triad of separation by our very judgment. And we're always, by judging anything outside of self, we are speaking to self, not to the object that we're judging. And that's 101, right?
Yeah, the moment you call someone a dickhead, you're calling yourself a dickhead, and you are going to feel like a dickhead.
Beautiful, man.
I know because I do it every day, because I get attacked. I get people who send me good messages as well, but
Yeah.
every day I'm scared of opening my emails or going to Instagram, because there's always someone that's going to say, "Oh, if I catch you, I'm going to kill you, and you're a
I hear
demon."
you.
Yeah, so
I hear you.
so it's no use retaliating and calling that guy a dickhead, because then I'm a dickhead, and then I mope about all day, going, "Oh, I don't feel good."
Right. There you go. Santos, I want to pick up a call with you later if I may. I'll get the number directly from Christy. I've got it somewhere, but I need to speak with you in the private. Got a little plan I want to speak to you about. Love you so dearly, man, and just so grateful for your presence. Delighted to see that you're looking beautiful and radiant, and can't wait to put my arms around you.
Yeah, likewise, brother.
God
Much
bless you.
love.